So today I'm going to be talking about how to invest in Roblox Islands and make a ton of coins. So obviously there's different types of items in the game, including limiteds and non-limiteds, and I'm going to explain that and how you can get rich very fast in this game. But before I begin, if you could do me a huge favor and hit that like button and smash the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. By the way, we hit 201,000. Yeah, 201 because I forgot to do an announcement. And I had an electrical outage at my house and they had to like rewire a bunch of stuff. It was crazy, but we reached 200,000 subs. So thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you for helping me reach my goal. And now my next goal is 2 million. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no, seriously though, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's such an awesome milestone. I never thought we'd be here in just a year. First up, I want to talk about limiteds versus non-limited. So obviously you see this item right here. It's a yellow frog, right? Yellow frog jar. And it's worth a lot of money. Granted, some of this might be a little bit out of date, you know, a few days. It's probably dropped a bit. But this item right here is so rare. And you would think, well, you know, it's a rare item. I'm going to go and pour all of my coins into this item because it must be worth something. And maybe it's going to be worth something later on. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So items that are not limited, like frogs, yellow frogs in particular, are going to continue to drop in value, right? That's just how it works. More frogs are discovered over time, more inventory, more people have them. They're not limited. And so non-limited items would be something like this, where they're just always here and you can get them anytime, right? And then we can come over here and talk about limited items like the palm tree sapling. You cannot get this anymore. It's impossible to get it. It was only accessible from the Kong Island as part of the Godzilla event. So this item right here is no longer accessible. So, you know, you think, okay, you know, you could invest in one of these, or you can invest in maybe, you know, 100 of these. So it's really up to you. Do you want 100 palm trees or do you want one yellow frog? This looks cooler than 100 palm trees, but one's going to go up in value. The other is not. And how it works is typically limited items, especially non-duped ones, pretty much go up in value over time very rapidly. And the reason is a lot of players, you know, they do quit the game. And this is not just exclusive to Islands. This is the case for any game you might play, like Adopt Me or Bubblegum Sim or some game that has a lot of trading. You know, limited items like this over time will get more and more value, especially as more coin is actually introduced into the game. These values can go up because more people can afford them, right? So, you know, what you're looking at here is an item that I am not interested in compared to this. I'm more interested in this than this. So you might be thinking, okay, DV, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm going to go out and buy a bunch of palm trees. I'm not saying that. Don't do that. Let's talk about what you should be investing in before you run out and buy a bunch of palm trees, because there's something also you need to consider, which is supply and ease of difficulty of getting the item. These were really easy to get. Plus you have to understand if they were duped or hacked. So let's talk about that a little bit. And I'm actually on my alt island, by the way. This is my alt. This is my shop. So let's go and look at some of these. These two trophies right here, including this one right here, were duped heavily prior to the wipe. So there's actually a lot of these in the economy, more than there should be. So that's why they're not really, you know, really worth what they should be. So that's why they're stuck in like this no man land. No one really cares about these because everyone had like thousands of these at one point because they're just so easy to get. Now, then you got, of course, the Kong trophy and Godzilla trophy. These are pretty fresh out of the oven still. So, you know, you're going to see them for about this. I sell them for about 280. That's pretty high. And the only reason is I don't really care about getting rid of them. I want to keep them because the longer I keep them, the more they're going to be, you know, worth. So eventually they're going to catch up to this price. I actually don't think they're worth that yet, but they will get up to this price and people do buy them for this price. Oddly enough, they do want them at this price. They don't buy me out. You know, you can see I've got a ton of them still. I got 89 in here, but they do buy them. I sell about maybe 2 or 3 each time I publish. So they're very interested in these. These are actually a little harder to get. And so I would say tidal aquariums here are really hard to get. You know, I get maybe one every couple days. I actually think they're worth a lot more than 2 million because people are not really willing to let them go. They were pretty easy to get as part of the fish festival. And a lot of people were hacking during that event. And the same case goes for this, right? People were hacking during the Godzilla event. So these are actually pretty easy to obtain. One I don't actually have in my shop right now is the fish festival trophy. And that one is the most rare out of these because, you know, it took a lot of grinding. Usually you're going to find them in like big shops and stuff. A lot of shops, like especially the bigger ones, kind of hoarded them and they were smart about it. And there's a reason why they did that is they knew they would go up in value. We already covered the RB trophy, but let's talk about the snow globe. A lot of people want the snow globe, but these were duped as well. So these were actually at the peak of dupes. There were people with millions of these. So now I believe they got wiped a bit. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure they were supposed to get wiped quite a bit. Plus a lot of those alts that had these were pretty much wiped as well. But so they are going up in value just a tiny bit. I've noticed they've gone up like about 50 to 100,000. And then you got the wide snowman, tall snowman, and the shovel and stuff. Wide snowman is not worth 7.5 million. It's not worth this. You know what it's worth? It's worth more than, in my opinion, it's worth more than the Fish Festival trophy. This item right here is one of the most sought after items in the game, and they are harder to find than the fish trophy. Believe it or not, it's really hard to find these. So, you know, it's funny that the fish trophy is going for 60 million when this is actually technically should be going for 70 million plus. But let's not talk about that because I'm still buying them. So let's just keep them at 7.5 million. It's good. It's good. And then you got the wreath right here. No one really cares about wreaths. No, I'm just kidding. But you know, to some degree, they're not like really as cool. A lot of people like to decorate their islands with these. They didn't get duped that much. And then you got the anniversary cake, which is a new item. We're going to cover that in a second. That's an important one. And then you've got some Halloween items. You know, you saw like some of the candies. We got some like, especially the formula here. This one got duped heavily too. That's the only reason why it's hanging out right here. But the thing is these are consumables. There's a big difference between a consumable and something you can drop and pick up and drop and pick up and drop and pick up, right? Because every single time someone throws this and laughs when you turn into a rat, they just made the value go up. And so that's why I sell them at 250. And the other reason why I sell them at 250 currently and buy them at 160 is they're kind of hard to find. I mean, there's not, it's starting to happen. It's really starting to happen. I don't see that many people with them. And the people that actually have a ton of them still don't really play the game anymore. And then there's, of course, there's other limited items and rare items. There's like the, you know, portal crystal. I actually kept this, you know, I'm keeping this just because it's pretty rare. I did hear this got duped somehow. I don't know how that got duped or what. I think that's just a rumor because I don't really see a lot of them. And then, you know, we got the fish banner, right? The fish banner, you know, is part of the festival as well, right? With the title, but they're pretty cheap. So you can see they're going for 180,000. They originally going for like, I think 150,000. They're still going up. I think I sell them for like I sell them for 250 currently. And they're really hard to acquire. Believe it or not, people are not selling them at 180,000. And I had some, I think this is the only one I have now. I think I only have one now. Wait, do I have any more banners? No, so that's the only one I have right now. And they're getting really hard to acquire. So I'm thinking, you know, they're going up in value. So the question is what should you actually buy in islands? What should you invest in islands? And then I'm going to actually tell you one thing. If you can get these are your best cost for your coin right now. They're cheap. They're not actually going for what they should be. These are probably going to be worth, I would say 70 to 100 million pretty soon here. And I know that sounds crazy, but I don't sell these. I'm not selling a single one of these. I do not resell them, and most shops do not resell them. So that is why you see these, because they're so desired, right? They're so heavily desired because they're the coolest looking snowman. Now there's the tall snowman. Don't confuse this with the tall snowman. The tall snowman was actually acquired a lot more than the wide for some reason. I don't know why, but everyone was going after the tall snowman and everyone wants the wide one though. And I remember right after the Christmas event, I looked so hard for these. I couldn't find a single one. I went across every shop I could and I had billions of coins and I couldn't even find a single one. And I even shopped around. I went on Discord. I went everywhere and it was really crazy. I'd never seen that before. So again, they're super rare items. Now, as far as what you should invest in, I would actually say, okay, if you have the coins, you know, if you have at least 10 million, get some wide snowmen. They're, you know, I buy them at 7.5. I think you're going to have to compete. If you want to actually get one of these, you're probably going to have to be offering about 10 million. So if you have a lot of coins, I would say go with the wide snowman. So if you can't afford the wide snowman, the second one I would actually recommend is the tidal aquarium and stock up on those, especially if you have like 30 million, I would do that. Now, if all you have is 3 million, I wouldn't just buy a tidal aquarium. Okay. When you're investing, you don't want to just buy one. Like you don't want to just be like, okay, I own a white snowman, I'm set. Yeah, it's going to make you some coins, but you know, it's going to make you a lot more coins. If you had 10 million, you should buy 3 of these instead. Instead of buying one of these, buy 3 of these. And you're going to actually go up in value the more quantity you have, right? It's more affordable. And then from the tidal aquarium, I would go drop down over here. I would actually go and recommend the fish banner. Fish banner is only 180,000. I wouldn't touch any of the Kong stuff right now because, you know, it's just so fresh and there's so much of it because we had crazy numbers. We had crazy numbers. How many people actually came out and played Godzilla event? So there's so many new users with these items that it doesn't really matter. Same with the weapons. I wouldn't even touch any of that. It's not really going for much. Same with the cutlass. I would actually say, even though the cutlass is really cool, a lot of people, you know, don't like it because it's kind of underwhelming from a power standpoint. So even though it's really hard to find, it did also get duped a bit. So I would actually, like I said, recommend the fish banner. Fish banner is going for only, you know, you can get them for about 200,000 a piece right now. They're really cheap. In fact, after this video, I'm actually going to be stocking up on a bunch of rares. So I'm actually going to spend 124 million of my money here just on rares alone. And I'm just going to go around shops and stuff and I'm going to buy these up. I'm going to buy them up and then I'm going to mark them up from there. So that's how it's going to work. Now, next one from here, okay, so 180,000 coins. The next one from here, I wouldn't even touch the formula, like I said, even though it's a really good long-term investment. If you're looking for like the next couple months, I would actually recommend the anniversary cake. The anniversary cake, people are selling them to me for 60,000. You can also buy them for about 100,000, you know, between 100,000 and 150,000. So that is a really good cheap investment as well. And beyond that, if you're looking for any other cheap investments, like if these are still too rich for your blood, blood and you're just like, DB, I can't even afford 150,000 coins. I wouldn't recommend the coconuts. The coconuts are kind of lame because you could keep making those. But the palm trees here are 80,000 coins, anywhere between 50 to 80,000 coins. They're a pretty good deal. Next up from there, I would say animal well-being kits are actually no longer made, or dead bushes. Dead bushes may come back, so I wouldn't recommend dead bushes quite yet. But I would actually say the animal well-being kit here is probably going to go up in value because you can't find it and it's not used anymore. It's a good item. You can't, like I said, you can't make it anymore. It's not used. You used to use it to inspect your animals. Now you don't. So you can see here, it's not inside the actual animal workbench anymore. And these go for about 20,000 currently. It's pretty cheap, like I said. And if you can't afford that, I would actually say like go for any of the limited candies. Like these are pretty good as well. So those are pretty good items. Alternatively, you can look at jack-o'-lanterns. If you don't like the candies, you know, check out the jack-o'-lanterns. But that is what I would recommend in investing in. So again, these are limited items. You cannot get those anymore. And how it's going to work is, you know, obviously you invest in them and then give it like a month. I would actually not try to retrade them right away. What I would say is just give it about a month or two, give it some time, let some updates come out, let more limiteds come out, and then people are going to be really looking for these because they're going to be like, hey, where'd you get that item? And they'll buy it from you for a good price because people really want them. Anyway, I hope this was helpful to you. If it was, please hit that like button and smash the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video.